Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Ukrainian talk show on Pod TV. My name is Sasha Star. Our guests today are Dr. Jonathan Lockwood. Welcome to the show, Jonathan.
Thank you, Sasha. Glad to be here as always.
Great to see you again. And Ivan Kucherenko from Kyiv, Ukraine. Welcome to the show, Ivan.
Hello, Sasha. Hello, Jonathan. Glad to be here today with you.
You have a movie for us to look at? First?
Yeah, I'm downloaded it, and it will be ready in a couple minutes, so we can start our show.
Well, of course, the major thing is this bombardment of Kyiv and other cities, and 14 people were killed, and a lot of people were maimed, and it seems to me it's the part of Trump's strategy to make Ukraine to capitulate. And he is not even mentioned anything when he left meeting G7, when it was already known about this Russian bombardment. So this was, it seems to me it's part of agreement between Putin and Trump is for Russia to continue to bombard Kyiv and other cities until such time as Zelensky will capitulate. Simply with it would be impossible really to justify to Ukrainian people such atrocities to continue. Ivan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, probably you're right, Sasha. And actually, already 15 people were confirmed to be dead in Kyiv, and more than 100 injured. And the rescue operation still continues. So probably it would be even more casualties. And also, Russia bombarded Odessa that night. Already 2 people killed in Odessa confirmed, and more than 20 injured. And they are continuously attacking Kharkiv with the Shahed drones, with ballistic missiles. So obviously, Putin sees that Trump has taken a completely pro-Russian position, that Putin can do everything. He can commit terroristic attacks on Ukrainian cities, and Trump will say some bullshit like, "Oh, I didn't hear about it," or "I will check it," or "they were wrong," without saying that who is wrong actually and who is committing atrocities every day. And he's not imposing any new sanctions. He's not offering Ukraine military assistance. Actually, that today's attack was possible because Ukraine lacks rockets for Patriot missile systems. Russia knows it, and they're using ballistic missiles, which are pretty hard to intercept. And the only one and only system which can efficiently intercept ballistic missiles is Patriot systems. And rockets to Patriot systems, they're provided by United States only. Unfortunately, our European allies cannot manufacture Patriot missiles, and Ukraine is lacking them. Putin knows this, that Trump is not confirming any more supplements for Ukraine. He uses it actually. I've got a video already ready, so we can watch it right now.
Okay.
And continue our discussion.
Sound of Rocket. Ми буквально були в під'їзді від того, щоб померти.
На мене полетіли уламки.
The war is still happening.
440 drones, 32 missiles launched into Ukraine, according to President Zelensky's office. We're here at the site where people are waiting all around to hear if their loved ones are alive or if they're trapped under this rubble.
Прохід був частково завалений, якраз таки на сходах все було обвалено, і ми от в той самий момент такі розуміємо, що от час треба бігти, тому що можемо вже і в інший момент не вибігти.
Очень большой свист, сильный. Понимал, что все. Жена находилась в туалете. Ну, а я взрывной волной. Вместе с окнами, с горшками, с цветами, блин. Ну что, хаты нет.
Балістична ракета попала в 9-поверховий будинок. Знищено цей під'їзд аж до підвальних приміщень. Це було пряме попадання.
This house is just like next to the house of my father, and I was like, oh, okay. It's getting closer and closer, and you start to think like, okay, so what's next?
Було дуже гучно, було дуже страшно, але все буде гаразд. Україна вистоїть, Україна переможе. Ми не зламаємося ніколи.
Repeat it. When Trump announced that his goal is to make America great again, look, if America is expanding and its economy is growing and everything is going the right way, but if other countries, whether it's China or Germany or UK, they are growing their economy even at faster pace, so the slogan of "Make America Great Again" doesn't really work, because other countries make their countries great again and even greater and at a higher speed. So the Trump goal is to belittle, to get other countries down, and then it would work to make America sort of great again. Although, I mean, the slogan is it's really horrible in its nature. So the combination of Trump and Putin works extremely well against Western Europe. And as I said on a previous show, some countries in Europe, for example, let's start with Poland, they are ready for war against Russians. They are, as Israel does, preparing reserves and so on. Poland is doing the same thing. For example, a friend of mine's son-in-law, being 53 years old, he was invited for 3 weeks training, and it's periodically taken once, twice a year. So Poland is ready against war against Russia any time now. So in this situation, the Trump's involvement in the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine is the worst case scenario for Ukraine. There nothing could be worse than that. I'll explain to you that when Trump says that there should be 30 days ceasefire, Ukraine agreed to that. Russia? No. So from position what Trump presented to his electorate in order to win an election, he said that he will do it in 24 hours. Let's forget about that. But at least the way how it was perceived, how Trump would do it, he would talk to Ukraine, agree on something, then he would talk to Russia, and if needed, he would use certain tactics against Russia, so to make them agree as well. And then so there would be at least temporary peace agreement, ceasefire, which could then be developed into a more lasting peace agreement. So with Ukraine, there was no problem. And with Russia, Russia doesn't give a damn about what Trump says. Furthermore, Russia is telling Trump what it's going to do. Putin phoned Trump and says, well, look, I have no way out of that after this bombing of Ukrainians of the airplanes. Now I have to really teach them a lesson. Trump goes, I understand you, Vladimir. Go ahead, do it, whatever you have to do. So this, Putin would never get such a word from UK or Germany or any other NATO country, only from Trump. So this is going from bad to worse. And now, of course, the failure to supply Ukraine with weapons. And so you have a great combination of Putin's attacks with complete lack of supplying Ukraine with necessary weapons. It works really miracle. So Putin is in a driver's seat, and I don't understand. Maybe Ukraine just has to throw away all the calculations and just unleash a very powerful blow to Russians one way or another, whether it will be in Crimea or anywhere else. So, Jonathan, what do you think?
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that last point, where Ukraine really has to play its own cards at this point, and that when you look at the objective factors of Russia's increasing inability to really sustain a powerful offensive, they are launching largely terrorist attacks and trying to break the will of the Ukrainian people, which is not going to work any more than it tried to work for Nazi Germany in World War II against Great Britain. So in this case, that powerful counterblow, which I've been asserting also needs to be in the Crimea, and you also note that the Ukrainians successfully launched another underwater attack detonation against the Kerch Bridge, which several military analysts have pointed out is the real link. It's both a symbolic political link, as well as the real logistical link between Crimea and Russia. If that goes, then Crimea is effectively isolated from Russian reinforcement and resupply. And so that has become increasingly. So the Ukrainians are on the verge of being able to seal off the Crimea from Russia. And that is what they are most concerned about, the Russians would be. So if the Ukrainians are able to unleash that one last powerful counterblow that will seal off Crimea, then they have in their hands practically a major operational victory, which will upset the political apple cart for both parties, really. And it will be an unexpected victory for Ukraine, really unexpected by the West, unexpected by Russia, and certainly apparently unexpected by the United States. So this is, again, I assert that Ukraine still has the ability to control its own destiny, but they have to choose the proper mode to seal off the Crimea.
I agree with you, Jonathan, but it's very hard to commit successful operations when your home front is in danger. Ukraine requires support of our allies, and hopefully we have allies in Europe, but currently we don't have United States as our ally. United States with Trump administration now is ally of Russia, it's ally of Putin. By doing what United States is now doing, by all those actions, it seems that United States is no more ally of Ukraine; it's ally of Putin. Don't you think so?
No, I do not.
Why? Why you don't think so?
I do not think so, because I look at the other factors, and I believe that.
What factors? Oh. we lost Jonathan, unfortunately.
Maybe
Sasha, what do you think? Is the United States with current Trump administration and their actions is whether ally of Putin or ally of Ukraine?
Obviously, it's a lie of Putin and very powerful. And in fact, it's not just helping Putin, it's deceiving Ukraine. And for example, look at this so-called rare metals deal. So Trump was working on it so far. Okay, finally it's signed, it's delivered, it's approved everywhere. What does it mean for Trump? Nothing. He just continued to work with Putin. And you see, this makes mockery not of just Ukraine. It makes mockery of all NATO countries. So they are contradicting. You see, Trump left this G7 in Canada. He left when there was a communique had to be agreed and signed condemning Russia for its bombardment of Ukraine.
and
Trump
also
wouldn't sign it. It is
yeah,
left.
there were plans of his meeting with Zelensky, and probably Zelensky was going
Exactly.
to ask Trump some questions which Trump doesn't want to answer actually.
Exactly.
Probably about his pre-election promises, when he promised that in case Russia will not stop this war and Russia was not to sign a peace deal, he will impose all the sanctions. That sanctions of Biden administration, they were weak, and Trump's representative Kellogg said that it was only one third part of the sanctions imposed, and he will give Ukraine all the weapons needed. So there is no peace. Putin is not going to make a peace deal. Putin is continuing to terrorize Ukrainian cities. Where are American sanctions? Where are American weapons? Where are Trump's promises? But he just confirms that he better to do business with Putin than to support Ukraine as their ally and assist Ukraine in this war.
Yeah, Ukraine is now at a very difficult juncture, because to allow Russia continue this bombardment of civilians is cruel and unusual punishment. Exactly, because it may go on for days, weeks, months, maybe years. So at what point, where is the end to it? Either Ukraine is developing some kind of a new weapons that can hit this ballistic systems. I'm not aware of that. So if there is no defense against this ballistic attacks, then Ukraine has to unleash its own ballistic attacks on Russia or capitulate. I really don't see some like in between, something that could go this way, that way, or something in between. I just don't see that in between, because Putin will not agree now to anything short of complete capitulation. So Ukrainians, Zelensky, has to accept that there are two-way street. One is total capitulation, another one to unleash your own attacks against Russia. And this is a combination of will, power, what you are to achieve. Zelensky, in my opinion, he doesn't have really much choice, because if he will capitulate now, how will he explain why so hundreds of thousands Ukrainians had to die? For what? I think Ukrainian people will not be very loyal to Zelensky at this point, and his end could be very tragic. So if not that, then he has to unleash absolutely incredible ballistic and all other kinds of attacks against Russia, including Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, all big cities without exception, 24 hours. So if they don't have enough ammunition, build it and try to save it and use it or capitulate. I don't understand what's going on when you just allow Russian ballistic missiles. See, okay, there is a defense against drone attacks, and the Ukrainians are doing good job on that, but there is no defense against ballistic attacks. It's the same thing what's happened in Israel against Iran. Israel has overwhelming advantage over Iran, and it's completely wiped out their air defenses, everything. But the ballistic missiles are still hitting Israel, and people are dying because of this attack. So, situation is different there with Ukraine and Russia situation. But something has to be done, and Zelensky has to really think what's in it, because if he thought that there could be some ceasefire arranged by Trump or so on, don't trust this lying con man. He doesn't need ceasefire. He wants Ukraine to capitulate. That's his goal. That's where he's playing. And then it would strengthen Russia against all Western Europe and Eastern Europe. And Russia has a free hand to. This is how Trump is punishing the Western Europe, European Union, NATO countries. He will leave them one on one against Putin. That's his plan. And while Ukraine is heroically fighting Russians, this plan doesn't work. Ukraine has to be out one way or another. And what do you think, Ivan?
Yeah, definitely. Ukraine has given Europe time, almost 4 years to prepare for upcoming war with Russia. Actually, if uh, Putin was successful in capturing Ukraine within a week, as he planned in the beginning, then right now probably it was a war of Russia with Europe, with NATO, because they didn't lost so much soldiers, weapons in Ukraine. They've used all those weapons, all those more than 1 million soldiers already lost in Ukraine. They've used them in war against NATO, and also they've used Ukraine as a resource in war against NATO, against European countries. Now, by defending, Ukraine actually has given time for European countries, for NATO to prepare. Unfortunately, they're preparing really slowly, because we have seen that that Putin will not stop. That he's crazy enough to try to restore the Soviet Union or Russian Empire in their previous borders. It's his paranoid idea, and it's not clear when and where he could stop. And yeah, probably Putin is by his policy is empowering him actually to proceed with these plans. When evil is not punished, when a criminal is not punished, then obviously he wants to continue his crimes. Evil wants to spread. Criminal wants to continue his crimes, to do more and more, and to grab more and more territories, to provoke. He's actually currently he's provoking European countries. There are hidden attacks all over the Europe, caused by Russian saboteurs, by KGB agents, and obviously there are no some open attacks, but if Ukraine will fail and if Ukraine will capitulate towards Russia, then Europe will be the next. And if United States will restrict from this conflict, then probably will happen next Pearl Harbor or something else, when Russia will will provoke one day United States. There is a open question of Alaska, actually, as Putin likes to say that he's grabbing back the previous Russian territories, and Alaska is a previous Russian territory. So probably it will be an opportunity for him to announce that this territory is historically Russian one, and he wants Alaska back, and it will provoke a conflict with the United States in future. No one knows how far he will dare to go if he will not be stopped.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. As I said, I just came back from 3 weeks trip to Europe, and I'm just impressed how much America is despised in Europe, and especially Trump himself. Like, everybody is laughing at him, think that he is his brain is on the level of a 14 years old kid. And and this is everywhere. It's in Poland, it's in Latvia, it's in Czech Republic. It's everywhere. The only thing is, I never heard any negatives about Trump was Spain and Barcelona, because they're too damn and they don't know English enough to express themselves. And actually, overall, all people that I had met in Spain, I'm sorry to say, they're very, if not stupid, they're kind of slow, a little bit slow. For example, I was arranging that in every city, whenever I would come, I had a private limo with a driver who would pick me up and my wife and drive to the hotel. Everywhere it worked perfectly, except Spain. In Barcelona, they have not one but two people doing the work. One is like a dispatcher, so he's in the airport and he's looking where I am. And so they phoned me and I said, "You were supposed to have a sign, Mr. Star. I didn't see anybody with a sign. What's happened?" "Oh, it's supposed to have a driver, but I'm not a driver. I'm a dispatcher." "And what's your role as a dispatcher?" Maybe you are vice president of the company. I don't care. Where is the driver and where is the sign? He says the driver is on his way and he will bring a sign. "But I'm already here for half an hour. Why he is not here?" "Well, I'm here to inform you that he will be in yet another 15 minutes. That was a comedy, real comedy. So finally, driver came, and I immediately understood why they need dispatcher, because driver speaks no word of English. He is from Morocco, so he speaks, I don't know what is Arabic, probably in Morocco, and Spanish, but very few words. English, not a word at all. So the dispatcher arranged all my luggage and we got it to the car and he drove. But he's a good driver. I must say he's a good driver because he drove us right from the airport, right into the hotel. There was no mistake. No English whatsoever. Very little Spanish too.
Yeah. Well, life in Spain is different, and everything what can be do in Spain today is done tomorrow. Mañana.
Yeah, mañana.
Mañana is their favorite approach. That everything will be done tomorrow. Mañana.
Incredible.
Yeah, but it's a great country anyway, and great ally of Ukraine actually, because Spain helps Ukraine very much. So every country has its differences and attitude towards life, and at least United States is actually a great country too, but some ways they've elected Donald Trump as their president, and I think it's a great tragedy for the United States, for America, because he's not doing America great again. He is doing America really small, and is putting it not on the right side of the history at this very important for the history period of time.
Ivan, the problem with election of Trump is that Trump is doing a lot of things that he didn't promise to do as a president. In fact, he's doing the opposite things. He never said that he will be on Putin's side, that he would make Ukraine capitulate. No, he says that there will be a peace. I'll make a peace in 24 hours, later on in 100 days and 3 months or so on. But look at his negotiations tactics. He was bringing Ukraine down, starting with this fateful meeting in Oval Office. And there was a good joke that Monica Lewinsky published a tweet that Zelensky has no idea how properly act in the Oval Office. Well, of course, she's a big expert in doing Oval Office stuff, but yeah, Zelensky didn't follow her strategy. That's true. And
Was she wearing a suit that time? She was an expert in Oval Office.
yeah.
Do you remember? Was she wearing a suit?
Yeah, I remember this stuff. Although it was now quite a bit, 30 years ago, slightly less. But there was, a lot of. Actually, another nice story anecdote is when Clinton came back home after meeting with a lawyer. So he said to Hillary, okay, I got a great advice how to stop all this nonsense and lawsuits and all this impeachment. My lawyer advised that we should make Monica Lewinsky as our adopted daughter, and then all proceedings would stop right away. And Hillary replied, why do you think we need an extra mouth in our household? So that was a nice reaction to that.
Yeah. But actually, it shows that there is a balance in United. There was at least balance at that time, and that some things actually such were that case with Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton are not okay for American establishment, for American people, and I hope that they will see the same in Donald Trump actions, that it's not okay for America to be an ally of Putin, to be an ally of Russia, because Russia doesn't consider United States their ally. They consider United States as their enemy. They consider their allies Iran. They consider it as their ally North Korea and China. They are obviously allies of Russia, and none of those countries are allies of the United States. So I think that in this formula is something wrong, actually.
Well, one thing is all wrong with this is Donald Trump and this fateful election, with American people wouldn't even consider what actually Trump is capable of and what kind of unstable and devious actually character he is. So it will take yet some time to resolve, although a lot of congressmen and representatives, they're ready with this sanctions against Russia. And Trump is the only reason why these sanctions have not been released. And that's why he ran away from the G7 meeting, because he would be confronted to sign the declaration about sanctions against Russia. So he just ran away, this character. Well, okay, Ivan, thank you so much for today's program. We covered a lot of grounds, and I hope that Ukraine will find the right way out of this tragic situation as it is now. It's not the end of story, and hopefully we'll discuss it in a few days. Maybe you will be able to join me on Friday. I would really appreciate it. And then Slava Ukraini. Героям слава.
Героям слава.
Yeah,
Thank you.
glory to Ukraine. And have a great time ahead of us, and hope to see you soon on Friday. Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.